From KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
The Uvalde Independent School District has now fired a recently hired district officer. That officer, Crimson Elizondo, was a DPS trooper on scene the day of the Robb Elementary School shooting, and she is among the troopers now under investigation.
Already frustrated parents and community members outraged this hire even happened in the first place. Our John Paul Barajas joined us live at the school district administrative building where parents continue to protest. John Paul.
Steve, Myra, the protests have calmed down right now. They're in the back eating, but background checks, employee history, and employee vetting, those are all questions that parents are asking after the hiring of Crimson Elizondo. They're all questions we've asked the district, but are still waiting to hear back on that. Now, the hiring of Elizondo, not the only thing that has emotions high, it's also what she said at Robb Elementary the day of the shooting. According to CNN, she can be heard saying, "If my son had been in there, I would not have been outside. I promise you that." Now, district officials haven't been here at the district office at all today as families continue to protest, but they did send a statement that reads in part, "We sincerely apologize to the victims' families and the greater Uvalde community for the pain that this revelation has caused." Uzziah Garcia's guardian, Brett Cross, had choice words for the district, their apology, and Elizondo.
Are we supposed to clap and applaud them for doing their job? No. They knew what they were doing. They did it anyways. They got caught. How dare you? You're disgusting.
Now, we have received a statement from DPS saying that they notified the district that Elizondo was under investigation back on July 28th. Again, she was just fired today. Coming up at 10, we'll take a closer look at those documents DPS sent us. In Uvalde, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
See you at 10. Thank you, John Paul. A 28-year veteran with the San Antonio Police Department shot and killed a suspect accused of stalking. The shooting happened about 12:30 this afternoon in the 11,900 block of Bramall Lane. That's near Churchill High School. According to Chief McManus, the suspect, a 33-year-old man, lived in Hidalgo County. However, this afternoon, he defied a protective order that had been filed against him by his ex-girlfriend and showed up at her home in North San Antonio.
He was said to be in the back of the house, so 4 or 5 officers went to the rear of the house. He came out with a gun, pointing the gun at his head, and then started heading back into where the complainant was. The officer shot to keep him from getting back to the female.
Multiple shell casings were found at the scene where the man was pronounced dead. The woman was not injured. Now that officer is on administrative leave, which is routine after an officer-involved shooting. A capital murder case ends in a plea deal for a 22-year-old defendant. The
victim's common-law wife taking the stand today, giving some emotional testimony about the hardships that her husband endured after being shot back in 2019. Those injuries eventually leading to his death.
Erica Hernandez was at the sentencing hearing. Takes us inside the courtroom.
I just heard him on the other side say Dad has been shot and he's in the hospital.
Linda Lopez remembering the moment she got the call her common-law husband, Jimenu Gamarachilage's convenience store was robbed and he had been shot. The shooting happening back in July 2019. Zion Talavera, who was 18 at the time and was out on bond on another charge, had gone on a string of aggravated robberies with another teen at 4 different stores. The last store they robbed, Talavera shot Gamarachilage twice.
Literally nothing functioned.
He was in the hospital for 504 days. Lopez talked about how the couple lost everything during that time.
Once we lost that business, we then lost our home. We lost everything, and I was homeless and living out of my car for 10 months.
Gamarachilage died from his injuries at home 12 hours after he had just left the hospital.
Nothing can bring my love back. Nothing will fix this.
A plea deal was agreed upon in this case, and Talavera pled no contest to the lesser charge of murder. And despite asking for leniency in a letter to the court, 186 District Court Judge Jefferson Moore sentenced Talavera the max per the plea deal of 50 years in prison. Talavera was also sentenced 20 years on that aggravated robbery charge. That will run concurrently. He will also have to pay more than $2 million in restitution. At the Keanu Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
They worked side by side for years, and now his testimony could mean the difference between probation or prison for Michelle Barrientos Vela. Ex-Precinct 2 Captain Mark Garcia has agreed to be a witness for the state in his former boss's public corruption case. But as Dylan Collier reports, a critical decision lies ahead on whether he'll even be allowed to take the stand.
No pleasantries exchanged this afternoon between convicted felon Michelle Barrientos Vela and her one-time captain Mark D. Garcia. Less than 2 days after signing a deal to provide testimony against the ex-constable,
if I allow him to testify, that's when you're expected to be here.
Garcia made a brief appearance with the new defense attorney. His previous counsel, Mark Anthony Sanchez, was forced to withdraw yesterday after concerns were raised that he had represented both Barrientos Vela and Garcia in multiple civil lawsuits tied to the criminal cases against them. Garcia, who himself faces charges of felony perjury and official oppression, could likely shed a lot of light on whether the ex-constable played a role in the delayed booking of her political opponent in 2019, after he was arrested on a warrant written by Garcia. Barrientos Vela's attorneys think it's a violation of their client's constitutional rights to let Garcia take the stand.
We don't know what Mr. Garcia is going to testify to. We can't ever say that that information didn't come from Michelle to her attorney and the attorney-client privilege.
For Garcia, his freedom is literally on the line. Take the stand and avoid trial and those criminal charges go away. But if he's prohibited from testifying, he's right back where he started. After a 2-week tampering trial and sentencing that has already been halted once, Judge Velia Mesa ordered another pause, this time until October 24th, as attorneys finalize their arguments for including or excluding Garcia as a witness. His new representative given 2 months to get familiar with the case. In the event, the deal gets tossed out.
I was in federal court and he called me and said, hey, we've got Ms. Garcia coming here and you need to be here, and I said, okay.
Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
The Texas Organizing Project challenging the Bexar County Elections Office in court for not opening enough polling locations ahead of Election Day. That lawsuit states Bexar County is proposing the fewest number of polling locations the county has ever had for a general election.
Now, back in 2020, a judge agreed there was a need for more polling locations. Camelia Juarez with the latest on this recent lawsuit.
Joaquin Gonzalez from the Texas Civil Rights Project, who is representing Texas Organizing Project in a lawsuit against Bexar County. He says the number of places where voters can cast ballots is not enough.
We realized that actually the county had been operating fewer polling places than it was supposed to be operating, but in 2020 was the first time it was sued over.
There are a total of 766 precincts in Bexar County. State law requires the number of polling locations to be half the number of precincts, so there should be a minimum of 388 polling locations. The elections office is proposing 267.
Which would also be the fewest locations we've ever had for a general election.
We reached out to Elections Administrator Jackie Callanan about the decision, and she declined to comment. However, she told KSAT on September 7th, when commissioners discussed voting locations, that she closed several polling locations with low voter turnout.
We'd opened a site, and there were 25 people that voted all day. Can you imagine less than 2 people an hour? That's not efficient.
Callanan spoke about the difficulty of staffing, but the Texas Organizing Project argues fewer polling locations violate the law.
The elections department just wants to focus on sort of cutting costs and doing what's going to be easiest and sort of the least amount of work, but not what's going to give the most access to voters.
Attorneys are hopeful the county will add more locations after losing a similar lawsuit in 2020. Otherwise, a hearing will be held next week to provide immediate relief and get those locations established ahead of Election Day on November 8th. Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
And if you're planning to vote in this midterm election, you're running out of time. You need to register to vote. The last day to register is next Tuesday, October 11th. The last day to apply for a ballot by mail is the 28th of October. Early voting will be from October 24th through November 4th. Election day is November 8th. To look at all the races and candidates, we have the full ballot on KSAT.com and the Vote 22 page.
A new clothing and accessories line now available at Target is celebrating Hispanic heritage with some South Texas flair. Jen and Veto run the brand JZD out of Brownsville, and they're responsible for some of the store's newest arrivals. This small Latina-owned business is known for their designs featuring popular Spanish or Spanglish phrases. They got the attention of celebrities as well, and now one of the biggest retailers around.
All of these pieces are so personal to us, and when we were working on this collection, we really wanted to create pieces that when somebody that had no idea, had never heard of JZD, would see it walking, they would be like, wow, that reminds me of my parents or my grandparents and those experiences and feelings that we had when we were growing up as Latinos. And so we're just incredibly excited to have the opportunity to showcase that.
You can watch the full interview done by our Alicia Barrera and RJ Marquez, featured on KSAT News Now. You can check it out on the KSAT YouTube channel, KSAT.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Jen and Veto talk about working with Target and how they brought mariachis to their local store.
Check out traffic right now on this Thursday. And we're going to I-35 at Division, and you can see things are moving smoothly in both directions.
Plenty of sunshine out there as well this evening. Temperatures not too bad. We've got Mia Montgomery with us for the first time on the news at 6.
So happy to be here on a beautiful day. Wish that we had better news in terms of rain, but yes, we do have beautiful sunshine out there. 88 is where we sit here this hour. A dew point of 46, which adds to the comfortable factor when you do step outdoors. We will see those temperatures fall through the 80s here over the next few hours, then into the 70s later tonight. In terms of our pollen count, 2 out there. Ragweed is moderate, molds are low, so that is good. The aquifer unfortunately down 0.2 of a foot at 630.2. We don't have a whole lot in the works as we head into the weekend. Pretty quiet, but we'll also talk latest drought monitor as well as get you a look at the tropics coming up here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Mia. Local university students are pushing to have the state acknowledge past wrongs against German families. This dates back to World War II in the town of Crystal City. An update on their efforts to get a federal designation.
Welcome back. I'm Stefania Jimenez, and tonight on the Night Beat, a restaurant makes a repeat appearance when we go behind the kitchen door. It's been several months, but a health inspector says that some things just haven't changed at the restaurant. And then there's the report that led us to that convenience store and the sticky situation that we got into.
A lot of this is just like blind faith, going forward and forward and forward.
You can say it's putting a sweet spin on science, how a local businesswoman is turning her passions for biology and baking into a job. Sounds like a lot of fun. We'll have these stories and a lot more for you tonight on The Night Beat.
Thanks, Stefania. Some history students at St. Mary's University are still trying to get the U.S. government to admit what it did 75 years ago. During World War II, German-American men, women, and children were held in an internment camp near San Antonio in Crystal City.
This year, though, Jessica Goyado says those efforts of students have been touched by what happened in Uvalde.
Would you like to come sign a letter? Each letter of support sends a message to Congressman Joaquin Castro. They say their history class at St. Mary's wants the bill he promised enacted and signed by President Biden.
Not much progress has been made in terms of passing it.
Formally acknowledging the internment camp in Crystal City, where German-American families were kept during World War II. Next year being the 75th anniversary of its closing. Not here today, but she's been deeply involved as a St. Mary's student who's also a reporter, Kimberly Rubio, who interviewed one of the German internees for a front-page story about his experience. Less than 2 weeks later, her daughter Lexi was among the victims at Robb Elementary.
Tore my heart out. Absolutely tore my heart out.
Werner Ulrich says Rubio had shared with him how she was a mother.
And then the next thing you know, her daughter is killed. My God.
Since the tragedy, Ulrich says he chose to text his condolences rather than call her.
You know, I'm sure she's got enough agony She doesn't have to listen to an old man like me.
It's good to finally meet you. We've heard a lot about you.
Except for freshman Nate Laveris and Charles Ricketts. It was an honor to meet one of the reasons for their efforts.
We're happy to represent you.
I'm absolutely grateful. I don't want to see Crystal City die away. It was a great insult.
Yep, and we're working hard to make sure that it's remembered.
Ulrich says he would like them to write a letter on his behalf.
To essentially exonerate the attorneys.
It was a horror what they did.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
All right, we're continuing a streak of nice days, but also a streak of no rain out there, Mia.
Yep, that is definitely the unfortunate part, especially when you think about the fact that September and October are typically two of our wettest months here in San Antonio. Haven't really proved to be just that yet. Along with that theme, let's take a look at the latest drought monitor update that actually was released earlier this morning. Not a ton of change, which is the good news compared to the update that we got in last week, but you can see especially near the Bexar County area, San Antonio Metro, stretching up to the north as well as the east along I-35. Extreme to even exceptional drought still in place there as we take a look across portions of the Edwards Plateau, reaching down to the Rio Grande Plains. Still have plenty of droughts, moderate to severe. And in fact, this year to date, from January 1st to October 6th, officially at San Antonio International, we have only picked up 8.2 inches of rain, which still makes this year to date the driest year on record so far in San Antonio. We are about 17 inches below where we should be for this time of year. Reason being, the majority of this year in terms of the monthly rainfall that we have seen so far has been below average. I know Sarah was talking a little bit about this yesterday. To find the last month where we had above average rainfall, we have to go back to October of 2021. May is typically one of our wettest months, so only just over 0.8 of an inch there, as well as September, just shy of an inch here in San Antonio. So it is no secret that we definitely could use some rain, and we need to hope for a pattern shift here pretty soon. Unfortunately, as we look ahead to the upcoming weekend and into next week, only isolated chances currently in the forecast. We've got a 10% chance for your Friday as we get ready to wrap up the work week's plans, and then a few more isolated chances as we head into the middle to later portions of next week. Taking a look at satellite and radar right now, nothing in terms of rainfall, but we do have some high clouds that are streaming in from the south as well as the west, all associated with that area of low pressure near the desert southwest. Plenty of rain falling out that way near Arizona, reaching over to New Mexico, and even out in the far western reaches of the Lone Star State and up into the Texas Panhandle. Unfortunately, again, we don't have beneficial chances in our forecast, but what that moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere is going to do is stream farther to the northeast here over the next 24 hours. So overnight tonight, we start to see more of those mid and high level clouds filter into south central Texas, very similar to what we saw earlier this week. It is possible that we find a few showers, especially across our southwestern counties, closer to the Rio Grande before the day is done tomorrow. But here in San Antonio, we've only got a 10% chance, because even if it is raining in the upper levels of the atmosphere in isolated spots, we still do have relatively drier air here at the surface, which means most of that would likely evaporate before it does reach the ground. So only a 10% shot for a couple of sprinkles before we head into the upcoming weekend. Temperatures right now sitting in the 80s across the San Antonio metro area, 88 officially over at the airport, 89 in Converse. It's also 89 out in Hondo, 86 in Uvalde. Overnight tonight, we see those temperatures fall into the 60s, 62 here in town. I think maybe a little bit warmer than that, probably around 64 to 65 is where we will start here for our Friday. We see those temperatures climb into the low 80s by lunchtime and then into the upper 80s as we head into our Friday afternoon. More of the same is in store as we head into the upcoming weekend. Partly cloudy skies. We see a little bit more sunshine return by Monday and Tuesday, and then we have the potential to find some additional moisture work in by Wednesday and Thursday, so could find some isolated rain chances there. Hopefully we will see that so we can bump those up just a little bit more.
Yeah, I hope somebody gets lucky out there. Thank you, Mia.
All right, this is a young Spurs team. I think we should start like a theme here, Larry, like how young are they?
How young
that kind
are
of
they?
thing?
Yeah, I wonder what their average age is.
Yeah,
because
they
have,
seem very young.
What, 4 19-year-olds on the roster, I think?
We need to figure that out.
But there's no truth to the rumor that their moms picked them up after the game. They're not that young.
They're not that young, no. They probably have some pretty fancy cars free. Hey, coming up, the Spurs are home tonight to take on the Magic. And the young guys, well, they're just getting acclimated to the NBA. And in college football, the Aggies got some bad news in regards to one of their quarterbacks. Coming up. The San Antonio Spurs will host the Orlando Magic tonight in the second preseason game for both sides. The Spurs are coming off a 38-point loss to the Rockets on Sunday and are ready to redeem themselves against the similarly young and inexperienced Magic. The Magic and Spurs are projected to be two of the worst teams in the league this season, so this year is all about development for both teams. The Spurs are currently using a scaled-back playbook to help the rookies get acclimated to the NBA.
Yeah, for sure, because the jump from college to the NBA is huge, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot different than you can really describe to someone. So, the game is moving fast for those guys. So, our job the other day was kind of try to get them comfortable, and maybe we'll switch it up these next few games and kind of really get to rolling.
Here's the preseason matchup between the Spurs and Magic. Tip us tonight at 7 at the AT&T Center. Texas Longhorns quarterback Quinn Ewers will return to action against Oklahoma this Saturday, as reported by ESPN. Ewers, who missed the last month with an injury to his non-throwing shoulder that he suffered against Alabama, is expected to start against the Sooners in the Red River Showdown in the Cotton Bowl. He's dressed for every Texas game since the injury, but he hasn't played. He's been practicing without limitations this week. And in more college quarterback news, Texas A&M signal caller Max Johnson has a broken bone in his throwing hand, and he will be out indefinitely, as reported by ESPN. Johnson suffered the injury to his left hand in the Aggies' 42-24 loss to Mississippi State last week, and he had to leave the game. Now this means Haynes King will take over at quarterback and will face number 1 Alabama Saturday in Tuscaloosa. In high school volleyball, YWLA picked up their third straight district win on Tuesday night by sweeping Kennedy. The Lady Cardinals are playing in a brand new district this season, District 28 4A, and are currently third in the district standings at 5-2. Tuesday was also homecoming for YWLA, and they love the support they got from their community.
It's so fun. We love having everybody here. It definitely helps keep us in a good mindset and keeping our energy good on the court.
The Lady Cardinals will next face Tequero to face the Gobblers tomorrow night at 6:30. Turning to baseball, Baltimore Orioles prospect Jordan Westberg was named the Orioles Minor League Player of the Year, winning the Brooks Robinson Award. He started the season in Double-A, where he played in 47 games. Then in June, he was called up to Triple-A and played in 91 games. He led Orioles minor leaguers in doubles with 39 extra base hits, with 69, I should say, of those. Total bases with 270 and RBIs with 96.
I'm proud of the award. I put in a lot of work this offseason to, obviously produce the way I did this year, and I'm happy that I won it. Obviously, you said it's essentially at the big league level. It's not about me. It's about the team and about winning games and winning championships, and that's what it's going to come down to. But right now, it's still cool to be able to win this award.
Westberg from New Braunfels is currently ranked the number 77 prospect in all the baseball, according to MLB Pipeline, while ranking as the number 5 prospect in the Orioles farm system.
You love to see young guys make it big.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling he's going to make it to the bigs next season.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the perfect time to educate ourselves, to talk about the risks, and to talk about what we can all do about that. So in today's KSAT Q&A, we have Lauren Mills joining us, certified genetic counselor for UT Health San Antonio MD Anderson Cancer Center. Lauren, thank you for being here. Let's first talk about specifically what you do, genetic counselor. So genes obviously play a big role in someone's risk. How significant is that?
Yeah, so when we talk about genetic testing for patients, we're doing any sort of genetic analysis to better determine an individual's predisposition for cancer, mainly things like breast, ovarian, uterine, prostate, pancreatic, etc.
So this is more than breast cancer that you can get tested for. You get your genetics tested to see if there are markers for certain things. Is this a new kind of wave of a medical breakthrough, for lack of a better word?
So genetic testing has been around for quite a few years, but in regards to doing analysis for increased risk for ovarian, uterine, colon, prostate, pancreatic, it's definitely a little bit more newer in the past, like 5 to 10 years, other than just breast cancer. So, when we're doing genetic testing, we're looking for any sort of genetic mutation that can increase somebody's lifetime risk for specific cancers.
So who should consider something like that? We talk about breast cancer, especially family history. So is that, if somebody has a history of breast cancer in their family, would that make them a candidate to do something like genetic testing?
Yeah, generally individuals who have a family history of breast cancer, usually under 50, multiple individuals with breast cancer, individuals who have personal or family history of ovarian, uterine, colon, usually under 50, prostate cancer, and pancreatic cancer. Those are the big ones that we generally are evaluating families for, as well as individuals. So kind of the big markers are individuals diagnosed under 50, those rare ovarian, pancreatic cancers, and then if there's multiple generations of people being affected. Is there something indicating that it's hereditary?
Some people may hear this and think genetic testing, it sounds expensive. Are insurance companies covering genetic testing more than they used to?
Yes. So there's specific criteria that a lot of the insurance companies follow to offer or cover testing for patients. So it's generally very affordable. It's usually covered. They say about 9 out of 10 individuals who have testing, their testing is covered by their insurance. And out of pocket generally is $250 for the cost of testing.
Preventative care and keeping watch for the signs of breast cancer in particular, so important. We're told to do the self-exams. We're told to get our mammograms. How significant does something like that, being on the lookout for a problem before there is one, how significant is that in treating breast cancer?
Yeah, so when we talk to patients about genetic testing and evaluating them for hereditary syndromes, really the idea in the business that we're in is to be as preventative and proactive as possible. So whenever an individual does have a genetic mutation that predisposes them to cancer, we can make very significant changes to their health management, their screening options, whether they begin earlier in their screening, they have more frequent screenings. And sometimes we even discuss recommendations for surgery to, ultimately try and prevent even, the development of cancer. But the idea of having these, having genetic testing, finding out if you have a genetic mutation that increases your risk for cancer can give us that information so that you can take the action to start, especially with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, mammograms at a much earlier age so that you can be as proactive as possible.
Is genetic testing as easy as just getting a blood sample? I mean, is that how you do what you do?
Yeah, it is actually. So we do blood or saliva. A lot of our patients, we just send them a saliva kit from the laboratory to their home. Of course, they need pre-test counseling with us so that they are fully informed of all the effects of testing, the benefits, the limitations, and then we can do blood or saliva for their sample.
You touched a little bit on this, but if you do that testing, you find some sort of hereditary indication that somebody is predisposed for breast cancer. What's the next step? I mean, some people may think, oh my gosh, could that mean a mastectomy or something like that? But I imagine there are more steps before that's even considered.
Yeah, so generally, after a patient goes through their genetic counseling appointment, they have testing. After that, we receive the results, we interpret the results, and then disclose them to the patient. If they happen to be positive, which is not the general population, only about 5 to 10% of individuals are positive for a genetic mutation. From there, we, really hone in on what that mutation means for them in regards to their specific cancer risk. And then we make sure that they receive the appropriate referrals to start being followed by a medical oncologist or surgical oncologist. So that way they can have those next step conversations on how they want their healthcare managed, whether it be that increased screening or whether it be talking to surgeons and having, a bilateral mastectomy, a preventative one, anything like that. We want to make sure that they're set up with the right individuals. And then we also want to make sure that they're empowered with the information to share it with their family so that their family can get tested.
Yeah, information is power. Lauren Mills, certified genetic counselor for UT Health San Antonio MD Anderson Cancer Center. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
All right, not only is it the first day that we've had the privilege of working with Mia Montgomery.
Yes.
But it's also a Thursday.
Oh, Mia here on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Not just a Thursday, a thermometer.
A thermometer Thursday. Yep, we'll talk all about that coming up. There's your little tease for that there to stick around. Absolutely. Yeah, it is a nice day, all things considered. It's been a little warm out there this afternoon. A quick look at temperatures across the area. More so in the 80s for the majority of us. A couple upper 70s, though, in Rock Springs and stretching over into parts of the Permian Basin out there in far west Texas. Here in town, we'll continue to see those temperatures fall through the 80s if you're stepping out for any dinner time plans this Thursday. And then later tonight, those temperatures fall into the 70s. We'll start off our morning in the 60s tomorrow, but we've got some high clouds streaming in that will be with us for the last day of the work week. We'll have a full look at that, plus what to expect this weekend in just a few.
Of course, South Texas is home to many small towns, many of which host various festivals and events that make them unique in their own way. This week, residents in Floresville are gearing up for their most important weekend of the year.
And we know somebody who knows a lot about that.
Yes,
meteorologist Mia Montgomery traveled to Wilson County to give us a preview of the annual Floresville Peanut Festival.
Not peanut butter yet.
Not yet.
30 miles southeast of downtown San Antonio sits the city of Floresville. Population 7,844. Driving down 181, it looks like your typical small Texas town. But on the second weekend of October, you find something else lining the city streets downtown. Peanuts. That's the sign that the city's most treasured event is near, the Peanut Festival.
There's so many people that don't realize peanuts grow in the ground. They're not on a bush. They don't grow on top of the ground. And it's hard to imagine how these peanuts grow with the shell on them. The peanut is protected inside. It's pretty interesting.
David File and his family have been peanut farmers in Wilson County for nearly a century.
It's a crop that we need here in South Texas because it can withstand a lot of heat and rainfall.
While celebrating the importance of his crop is meaningful every October, this year is even more special. His granddaughter, Teva, is queen of this year's Court of Exotic Destinations.
Such an honor to be Queen Tune-Up this year, being that I come from the farming background. It's just such an honor to walk downtown and see all the peanuts hanging since they come from our farm.
I think it's so important for our community to continue celebrating our farmers that still continue to harvest peanuts here in our community.
Did she have on a peanut necklace?
A necklace made out of peanuts, spray painted gold. Was that not the coolest thing?
That is amazing.
I want one. I was going to say I have to know where to get one, but I think if I go to Floresville,
I think they probably can hook you up.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's just such a cool event happening in Wilson County. They've got live entertainment, various food booths and vendors, and of course, plenty of peanuts that, yes, grow underground. Such a fun time out there in Floresville this morning. I appreciate the files.
I could tell you were having fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you really came out of your shell.
Oh, there it is.
Welcome.
There it is.
Welcome
Steve
to the news
Spriester.
at 6.
Everybody, we'll be here all night long.
Thank you.
All right, we've got plenty to talk about out there. Even though we're pretty quiet here locally, let's take a look at the tropics. This is potential tropical cyclone 13. Potential tropical cyclone is a term that the National Hurricane Center uses for a system that hasn't really developed the organization that it needs to be a tropical depression yet, but it is expected to become one or a tropical storm here over the next 24 hours as it tracks westward across portions of the Caribbean Sea. Winds 35 miles per hour sustained, gusting upwards of 45 miles per hour. It's moving to the west at about 17 miles per hour. It is expected to strengthen into that tropical storm classification and potentially even a Category 1 hurricane by the second half of the upcoming weekend before making landfall in Central America. So this is of no concern to us here at home, but of course we will continue to keep eyes on it. The next name on the list would be Julia. So if it does become a tropical storm, it would be known as Tropical Storm Julia. So there's that system out in the Caribbean Sea. Farther off in the Atlantic, Tropical Depression 12 trying to hang on, not expected to really do much here as it continues to dissipate as we gear up for the upcoming weekend. So back here at home, temperatures still in the 80s for the majority of the San Antonio metro. Dew point to 46. So again, we still have some of that relatively drier air in place, which helps with that comfortable factor when you do step out for any of those evening plans. We are dry across South Texas. A couple of showers in the western Gulf of Mexico, but other than that, not really a whole lot going on in our neck of the woods. A much different story though across portions of West Texas, reaching up to the Texas Panhandle, even stretching over to the desert Southwest as an area of low pressure continues to produce plenty of widespread rainfall out that way. Unfortunately, that is not going to move eastward enough to really give us beneficial rain chances here at home. But what it is going to do is allow the winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere to stay out of the southwest as we head into our Friday, which means more of that mid and upper level cloud cover will start to filter in as well. So you likely will notice that before we wrap up the work week's plans tomorrow. Again, it is possible that we find an isolated shower or two, especially in our southwestern counties, but we do still have plenty of dry air here at the surface for our Friday. So even if it is raining up there in the upper levels of the atmosphere, a lot of that will likely dissipate and evaporate before it is able to reach the ground, which is unfortunate. But again, we'll still keep a 10% chance for a few showers to pop up before we head into the weekend. Not a whole lot going on there either. We do have some isolated chances though as we head into the middle of next week, Wednesday and into Thursday. We'll see some additional moisture work its way back into our area, and that combined with the weak boundary approaching from the north could potentially pop up a few additional isolated showers. So we will keep our fingers crossed for that. Tomorrow morning, waking up in the 60s for most here in the San Antonio area, some upper 50s possible as we head into the hill country. Into the afternoon, temperatures just shy of 90 for most. A couple neighborhoods certainly could hit that 90-degree mark by tomorrow afternoon. More of the same in store this weekend and really into next week. And then fingers crossed for those isolated chances for rain.
Howdy, everybody. Good to be back chatting with you. I'm at my in-laws' house. They live in the Kelly Greens community, which is about 1.7 miles from the beach. And I'm out in the pool area, the Lanai area, and just wanted to show you. I had a separate video when I found my thermometer, but thermometer I made for them back in 2013. Always hangs right there. Found it on the floor, right down there. Survived, baby, it survived. Yeah. And it's accurate. 84 degrees out here right now. Boom. By the way, a lot of progress we've made on the house and getting it aired out made a big difference. Doesn't smell nearly as stanky. Still stanky, but not as stanky. Happy Therm Thursday.
The thermometer survived a hurricane.
You know what? He's doing great work out there for his in-laws, but what are the chances that that's the first thing he looked for when he walked in that house?
There's a pretty solid chance.
Where's my thermometer?
They've made a lot of progress, though. That was a big old mess.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
low is Thursday, October 6th.
Breaking new developments in that shooting at a McDonald's parking lot. San Antonio police submitting evidence in a case where an officer shot at 17-year-old Eric Cantu. That evidence now in the hands of the Bexar County District Attorney's Civil Rights Division.
The officer in the case has already been fired. Now it's up to the DA's office to determine if charges are going to be brought against that officer.
I have not put a single penny into the Bexar County race.
He's defending himself because Republican candidate Trish DeBerry alleged others provided money to the ad against her, as well as Thomas J. Henry. Yesterday, DeBerry and her opponent, Democratic Judge Peter Sakai, faced off in a forum where she also accused Sakai of knowing something about these ads. He vehemently denied those allegations.
A truly international crew headed to the International Space Station. They blasted off this morning on board 2 NASA astronauts, a Japanese astronaut and a cosmonaut. Now, the cosmonaut is the first cosmonaut to catch a ride on an American spacecraft in nearly 20 years. Another woman on board is NASA's Nicole Mann, the first Native American to make it to orbit and the first woman to command a SpaceX flight. It is Big Fat Bear Week. It's a competition between the bears of the National Park Service and the Katmai National Park in Alaska to see what park bears bring home the Big Bear Trophy. You can go online and you can vote for your favorite heavyweight by downloading a bracket of all the contenders. Their summer weight. They got that little slider thing that goes back, shows what they look like in the summer and what they're looking like now. You can keep up with it before they go into hibernation.
That is all our time. Thanks for watching the news at 6.
We'll see you right back here on the Night Beat at 10.